So the movie deals in Canada versus the States is just insane. The States have it so much better, and I picked up a lot of movies here to the point where I'm actually splitting up my like Florida pickup videos into like 2 or 3 different ones because I have 18 movies here. Yeah. And some of these movies aren't available in Canada. I'll talk about them each individually. I don't know how long this video will be. And then I will make another video or maybe 2 talking about the Funko Pops I picked up and some shirts I got. And one of them I am wearing right now. And you've seen probably, I think yesterday, my other one. But still, there's like a few more. I spent a lot of money here, but I did work a lot before I came here. So there's that. But anyway, I'm going to go by store here. And I think I will start off with the Criterions. I was going to make an individual video about them, but I have them divided by store here. Actually, this first one isn't a Criterion, but it's from Barnes & Noble, and we don't have those in Canada, and it was the Barnes & Noble sale, so this was nice. But this is just Moonlight on Blu-ray, obviously not a Criterion, but a movie that, I mean, it actually won Best Picture instead of La La Land, and it's a phenomenal film, like easily a 5 out of 5 film, but it's been years since I've seen it, so I'm dying to rewatch it. Also, just another quick one, I'm going to make a video on this. I got The Joker, His Greatest Jokes, just a comic book from Barnes & Noble, which was, I'm reading so far, it's pretty interesting, but let's just talk about the Criterions. They're in no particular order here. First up is Do the Right Thing, and I love this film. I'm so glad to have the Criterion because, like, for those who don't know, it's massive and it comes with a lot of stuff, and like the main thing is this entire big thing that I think it's like Spike Lee's journal basically while making the film, and then you also have this, and it just looks amazing. Obviously the movie is phenomenal. I mean, most of these movies are like 5 out of 5 movies anyway, but this is one that I was really excited to find, and to learn that it's the same price as the other ones is impressive because it is so much like thicker than the other ones. And then next up, maybe my favorite movie out of all the ones, if the lighting wants to show it, but that's Silence of the Lambs. I have the full screen DVD of this, so I was so glad to pick up the Criterion of this. I don't remember, okay, it is in a 4K restoration, so I'm really excited. I watch this movie like every single year. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm really excited to have this, and I almost didn't pick this movie up. I kind of showed it a little bit in the corner here, but then like my dad's just like, oh, do you have this? I'm like, yeah, I have the Blu-ray, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get Dazed and Confused. This one, it's like, I watch it every single summer, especially right before I go back to school, because it's like, I watch it sometime in August, and because it is August now, I'm like, it's kind of like the perfect thing to watch, and I love this cover. I've seen it for a while, and I really love it, and I just know that it'll look great, and I mean, like, this is one of my favorite sets, in general, and it has, like, in here, there's a poster, there's a lot of stuff. I'm definitely gonna put the poster up in my room, because this movie is just amazing. Richard Linklater. I also have the Before trilogy by him, and I saw Boyhood. I didn't pick it up just because, you know, I was already spending enough money here, but the Before trilogy, 12 Angry Men, and The Princess Bride are the only other, like, 3 movies, or technically the Before trilogy is a trilogy, but, like, the only other sets I have from Criterion, and I have 2 more here, and the reason I got so many is because it doesn't exist in Canada, and because, you know, it has the 50% off sale. I got these a few days ago. Next up is Punch Drunk Love, and I almost didn't pronounce that. This movie is just phenomenal. I watched it for the first time last year, and I really got into Paul Thomas Anderson. I think it's Adam Sandler's best movie. Like, even this one has, you know, the kind of standard Criterion cases, whereas these other ones are a little bit different, but I still love it. Like, you open it, you have Adam Sandler here, one of his best performances. I think it's his best besides Uncut Gems. Really great. And then the last one here is actually surprisingly the most expensive one, but also kind of not, but it is a new 4K digital restoration or whatever. I'm not sure what year it officially came out, apparently in 2013, but that is On the Waterfront, one of my favorite Marlon Brando films. I think probably his best performance, honestly, and you know, it just slides out, looks the same here. I'm not exactly showing them off in this video because I haven't even seen some of them myself fully, but just looks great. In here, you know, you have Marlon Brando. I could have been a contender. That's my terrible impression. It just has all these really cool things. I think that's what makes Criterion so special. That's why they are more expensive, and it's kind of, I'm glad that we were coming down here to Florida just perfectly, like, right at the end of the sale, and they still had a ton of these movies. Like, they still had a lot more. There were some I was looking for, like Pan's Labyrinth or A Hard Day's Night, which I didn't find, but that's okay. I got all of those, and already it's been 5 minutes into the video, and that's only one store. I have 2 more stores. This was the one that, if I can get this in, I picked up the most from. 1 second. There we go. I picked up the most from Barnes & Noble. Here's just like a quick little rundown. Like that enough is bigger than my normal like monthly hauls, and this is kind of more just a Florida trip haul here. But next up, I'll do Target here. Target we no longer have in Canada. This is actually from Super Target. First up, a film that you can't find in Canada, so I was really happy to find, and it was cheaper than I expected. Total Recall. Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of my favorite actors. He was my favorite actor for years. He's like probably my favorite action star, and I like how it just says Schwarzenegger here on the cover, and I mean the slipcover's nice. It's been so long since I've seen this film, like probably 4 or 5 years since I've seen it. I'd say about 4 years, and I remember it being really great. And I know the 4K transfer is supposed to be really good, so I'm excited to give that one another shot. I might make like a movie night video or something. Next up, the Kingsmen, both films, Two Movie Collection, Secret Service, and The Golden Circle. Now, these films, it's been a few years since I've seen them, but the first one here, I love. It's like my best friend Logan. It was his favorite movie for years. I don't know if it still is. It's amazing. Second one, I'm not too big on, but this thing was only like $15 US, but still, like, normally you find one movie in Canada or even in general here for less than that. Like, this might have been the cheapest 4K of them all, and it has 2 movies in them. And I'm excited to watch The Golden Circle again, because maybe I will like it more and rewatch. I know like Elton John's in it and stuff, so you know, it's definitely a fun watch. And because we're finally one day getting The Kingsmen to come out, it'll be nice to rewatch. And final pickup is a movie that I haven't seen. It's a horror classic, and it's one that I think Chris and I from Filmstock, we might do a watch along for it, a live watch along. That is Saw. I love this cover. It looks almost like a steelbook, but it's just a normal slip cover. And I've seen the 4K, like this was actually in Best Buy, which was the next store, but I saw this in Target and I looked it up online and it was actually cheaper here. And I do like this cover more than the steelbook. I don't know what it is. The steelbook looks very nice as well, but I haven't seen it. This is the 4K as well. All these pickups from Target were 4Ks, or Super Target as it was, whatever that means. But I've been dying to watch this movie for years. I know the sequels aren't the greatest, especially as you get farther in, but we had Spiral come out this year, and I'm like, you know what, I know I'm gonna love this movie. I know I'm gonna want to watch it over and over again, especially for Halloween and stuff. So I picked it up, and I mean, I think it'll look amazing. And I don't know, there's something about the slipcover that I like, even though it has, you know, like this, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it'll be in focus, like it's not a full one like some of the other ones I'll show you. But final store here, the video's already 8 minutes at least before editing it down, and you know, I'm talking a lot. This is why I split it up. I went to Best Buy and I got a lot of great picks here. First up is The Crow. This is probably going to be the first movie I watch when I get home, or at least one of the first ones. This movie has not only one of the best soundtracks of all time, but like probably when I rewatch it, it'll become another one of my favorites, just because I love this so much, the way it inspired like films like The Dark Knight. And I also got a t-shirt for The Crow. I picked this up today, and I got a t-shirt for The Crow like 2 days ago, I think, so it was kind of ironic. It's like, hey, they go well together. I'll post a picture on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, but I'm just really excited to rewatch this. And I don't know if the digital code will still be like, you'll still be able to use it or whatever, but if it is, I'll probably post about it on Instagram. I'm really excited for that one, even though it's a Blu-ray, and because it was cheap. That's the main reason I want to go to Best Buy, because I know some of them have like $5 bins, and it wasn't, but it was on like the side for like $6 or $7. Next up is Mrs. Doubtfire. I've been dying to rewatch this one. Robin Williams, he's my second favorite comedian of all time, and just one of my favorite actors in general. And this movie, it's heartfelt, but it's also hilarious. I have something in my eye. And it also has some of the best like use of music in any movie, and that is Aerosmith's Dude Looks Like a Lady, which is like perfect here. And next up here are films that I don't know how I don't own. I was obsessed with these first two back in, I think, like 2017, 2018. That is the Austin Powers trilogy. I'm excited to watch this again. It's been years. I mean, I've seen the first two so many times. I still like the third one, but the first two are probably two of my favorite comedies out there. Like, I really love them. And Mike Myers, you know, he's Canadian. The Austin Powers character is so iconic. So many iconic lines from here that I probably can't even say on YouTube. But I'm just really excited to finally have this. I've never been able to find it in Canada, so it was nice that I could find it. It has like this top, like the top of the slipcover here. This is like something that would be kind of an older Blu-ray, but I mean, oh well, at least I finally own them. And it was cheaper than I expected. Then the last ones are all 4Ks as well. All these are films that I have not been able to find like anywhere, so I'm very, very glad to pick them up. First up is First Blood. Now, I was super excited to find this. They had the second one, maybe the third one as well, and they had like Last Blood and stuff. It doesn't have a slipcover, but like, oh well. It matters more about the movie than the actual cover, at least to me. And this is just one of my favorite Stallone movies. This is easily my favorite Rambo movie, and I'm excited. No, most of the time I actually take the movies out of the plastic, but in this video, you know, I got these like 2 hours ago, so I haven't had time now, and I'm really excited to find. And then next up is a movie that comes into my top 10 of all time. That is Forrest Gump. And I know some people are like, oh, you don't need the 4K for this movie, but I'm like, you know what? I want it just because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, like literally in the top 10. I don't even think top 15. Like, I actually think top 10 was my favorite Tom Hanks film for a while, and you know, it's just one of the best movies of all time. I mean, come on, let's be honest. And I really like the slipcover. It's just very basic. You have the feather, forest, everything. And I've watched this movie a ton, but I'm probably going to watch it again this year. And last up is my favorite film of all time on 4K. We're talking about Tom Hanks, so we have to talk about Saving Private Ryan. No slipcover, and I know like the glare is kind of annoying, but if I hold it like this, it should be good. I have been looking for this film for probably 3 or 4 years. I don't remember when this came out on 4K, but like since the start of my collecting, or especially when I got into 4K, so more so like 2 years, like 2019, I've been looking for this film, and I was never able to find it, but finally now I found this. It was cheaper than normal, because the only time I could find this was when it was like $35 or $40. I'm like, I'm not paying that for really any movie unless it's like a brand new release and it's like a super nice set or something. But I'm so glad to find this one. I saw it in theaters back in November, and that's easily the best theater experience I've had, and that's what bumped it to my favorite movie. But I'm glad to finally own it. I only had the DVD, but yeah, here, let's see if I can even hold up this massive stack of movies. I think this is easily the biggest kind of Blu-ray haul there is, because there's, you know, there's 4Ks, there's Blu-rays, there are Criterions, there's really everything. There's even a comic book here. Let's see if I'm even able to hold it all up. But here, you know, here's the big reveal. Here's all the movies. It'll probably be out of focus because I don't know, I barely have enough room in frame for them. I kind of glitch while talking there, but oh well. There's a lot of movies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 movies and a comic book. But I think it is totally worth it. I'm glad I spent a lot of money on these, but I think it's totally worth it for me as a collector. I'm glad to finally have a lot of these movies in my collection. If they're Criterion, if they're on 4K, so a lot of these are upgrades, like Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan, I only had on DVD, and I never watched one that Silence of the Lambs, same, and it was a full screen DVD, so that's gross. But I'm just really glad. I'm really thankful for, like, you know, my parents driving us all around to go to all these places. And I will have a video talking about the Funko Pops and the t-shirts I got. Yes, spoilers, one of them is the Loki one, and one of them is what I was wearing in yesterday's video. But anyway, what Criterions did you pick up? What movies did you pick up in general in July? I wasn't just gonna call this like July haul, because it was a lot more than that, and because I picked stuff up today and it's already August 3rd. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.